या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मीरारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। पूज्य माँ भगवती, पूज्य श्री अरविंद, you all are the chosen children of our Divine Mother. The clue that was left out by Indian Rusis all throughout the millenniums of Vedanta received by them, practiced by them, and made the scenario which is known all over the world as Indian culture. The emergence of culture of India that is totally based on experiences of the rishis, devotees, scholars, ardent disciples of the greater vibhutis at different time incarnated on our planet. So it is the truth of the divine that was the main source, main stream and main reality. Adi Jagadguru Shankaracharya distinguished it to be Brahma Satya and Jagat Mithya. Psychic is truth, body is Mithya. Light is truth, darkness is Mithya. Jyoti is truth, tamas is Mithya. What is mithya at one level, what is untruth at one level, is truth at another level. So the truthfulness of the truth depends upon the modus operandi, methodology, play of manifestation, speed of manifestation and reality of manifestations. So the programming that was launched by Sri Aurobindo as per his vision and the assignment to the mother given by Sri Aurobindo on 5th of December, that is mind of light. Why? Because mind is also truth and light is also truth. How far mind is playful, how far mind is a hurdle, how far mind is a big obstacle, still the energy of mind, reality of mind, entity of mind is related to light, is related to Jyoti, is related to immortality, is not related to death, is not related to disease, is not related to anything that is dissolution. Provided the mind is rightly diverted, guided, channelized, made genuinely operative. Ancient rishis could not universalize this concept. They might have longevity. They might have longevity at their will. It was not made universal. That was the problem. And there it was left out by them. It is mithya. And now it is to be left out in order to find out the salvation. If death is mithya, if death is untruth, life is also untruth. And birth is also untruth. So the very creation, very base of our creation is the existing entity of matter and spirit. Matter apparently is inanimate and spirit apparently is infinite. In Savitri, Sri Aurobindo pointed out, sun from which we kindle all our suns. Spirit originally is light of the sun. But light of the sun is originated from the Supreme Sun. And Supreme Sun is Rutam Bruhat Satyam. Supreme Sun is Tejas. Supreme Sun is the supreme light of Gayatri. Vishwamitra denotes it, and this was the very first hypothesis propounded by Vishwamitra, that it is light that generates light. It is light that descends upon light. It is light that results into matter. It is the light, supreme light, that becomes the matter. And what is supreme light? Supreme light is consciousness. Supreme light is reality of consciousness. It is Rutam and Satyam. Rutam is also truth. Satyam is also truth. Rutam is the Satyam of absolute reality, and Satyam is the truth of relativity which hides reality. So we are there where relativity is being hidden by reality is being hidden at supreme level because it is invisible. Though it is light, it is invisible to us. Om Tat Sat. That is invisible to us. So Rishi Muni saw it, Rishi Muni understood it, Rishi Muni accepted the probability of its existence, but could not bring it down on the earth. So descent of the supramental is the fundamental originality of the yoga of Sri Aurobindo. This was never occurred in past. That is the supreme truth. Ekang sena sthito jagat, Lord Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is my one atom that has become the entire existence. That has become Bahushyam. And if it is to be transformed, if it is to be reconstituted, if it is to be re-embodied, if it is to be re-manifested, if it is to be given a new birth, if it is to be born in a new constitution, if it is to be born in new body, where time and space, they are the dimensions, and new body means new time, new body means new space, and new body means new time, and new space means new matter. First programming resulted into this universe as we see. Now the second programming is the new universe after supramentalized entity. So supramentalized matter is the renewal of old matter. Supramentalized matter is the reforming of new matter. Supramental existence is the total divinity put into atom. Total divinity of the atom was put into matter. That was the first manifestation. And total divinity put into matter as divine in toto, Rutam, Bruhat and Satyam. Divine in toto, that is transcendental consciousness, Sri Aurobindo described it. That has to be the reality of matter. Anuror Anyan Mahato Mahyan. That was understood by our Rishis, but Anuror Anyan was not manifested on the earth as Mahato Mahyan, Bruhat. The entire universe is to be given new dimensions, that in the drop of the ocean, the entire ocean exists. And it is at the will of the drop that it can be ocean, and it is at the will of the drop that it can be drop once again. It is the will of the drop that it can dissolve itself completely. So visibility, reality and relativity, these three can live together, three can exist together, individually, universally and cosmically. This is matter. So matter is the sound consolidation of the total divinity. Matter is the sound consolidation of total divinity, of absolute reality. Fathomless zero occupied the world. It is the fathomless zero, that is the divinity in totality, has to be divinity in totality of relativity, where it can be visible, it can be invisible. It can be real, it can be relative. It can be truth, spark of the truth, it can be truth in totality as it is there. So visibility is to be added. Our spirit, our subtle body exists even after death. Our physical body disappears. Our physical body dissolves. But still our subtle body lives there. Lord Krishna can reappear at any moment. Over mental consciousness of Lord Krishna can be visible at any moment. And that is His will, that He can be visible. His will, that His total divinity can be accessible to human mind, human eyes and human body. If God incarnated in perfect form, and perfect means not only perfection, perfect means total. So the difference between perfection and totality. Totality is there in reality. Perfection can be here in relativity. Perfection can be Satyam. Totality is Rutam. So Rutam should be made Satyam, and Satyam should be made reality on earth. The totality is to be brought down on the earth. 99% of this absolute truth, absolute reality, absolute matter invisible matter. Consciousness is a materialized consciousness. Consciousness at its pure form is a materialized consciousness because it is made visible. It has got absolute velocity because it has got absolute divinity. So all these concepts Sri Aurobindo synthesized in such a way, after seeking, after obtaining, after integrating all different symbolic truths of our Vedas. 4 Vedas were classified by Ved Vyas. And 4 Vedas are the 4 dimensions of science. Science is not divided, that this is science, this is non-science, this is science, this is something imperfect science, this is science. These are classification of science. Science is knowledge and knowledge is science. But science is a knowledge accessible to mind. Knowledge is not totally accessible to mind. Nahi gnane na sadrasham pavitram iha vidyate. Is not accessible to our mind. Then what to do? What to do? Knowledge is existing there. Knowledge is existing there. Power is existing there. Power is existing here. Light is existing there. The sun from which we kindle all our suns. Light is there and light is here also because our earth was projected from the sun, which we can see every day. There is velocity, there is sthiti, stability, there is reality, there is light. It becomes our light. It can remove our darkness. It can remove our tamas every day. Though it is stable there. Sun is not moving. For thousands of years in past, it was believed that it was sun that was moving around the earth and earth was stable. The stability was taken for granted to be mobility and mobility was taken for granted as stability. That was reversed after Galileo. So life is mortal, that was the belief, that was the reality for since the beginning of the earth till today. That order has got to be reversed because mortality appears to be the mortality of constituted consciousness. And constituted consciousness is our body. There lies the mortality. If reconstituted body comes into existence, we can reverse this order and what appears to be inevitable to us, that is death, that is mortality, can be changed, can be transformed and can be so transformed that atom of the rutam can be here the immortality of body, supreme light of the body, supreme will to be visible and to be invisible, that is the supreme power, Sat Chit, total velocity, can be here in atom. Because it is the atom of divinity, there lies the totality of the supreme, whether it is Bruhat or whether it is atom here. So the entire science, the knowledge, is made power, knowledge is made determination, knowledge is made figure, knowledge is made visible, knowledge is made immortality here on the earth. New centralization principle. This is the principle of new centralization. Old principle that it is the light of the sun that has become matter. It is the light of the sun that has become the relativity. But if the sun's origin, that is sun from which we kindle all our suns, if maximum totality is brought down on the earth from the original sun, that is Gayatri, that is Savitri, that is absolute reality, then this apparent reality, relativity can be changed. Our imperfect relativity can be converted into perfect truth. And it is the perfect truth that is knowledge, it is the perfect truth that is the power, and it is the perfect truth that is the existence, provided the matter that is manifested here and is manifested as our body can be changed in the light of the true and original light of the original sun. So it is Savitri who could challenge the death and transcendental consciousness, that is in our Vedanta called Paratpar. That Paratpar asks Savitri, you ascend. We are living here, we are living science, we are living wisdom, we are living knowledge, we are living anything and everything of the Vedas, the truths of Vedas, but still we are not living divine. We are not living supreme reality. We are not living supreme light. We are not living the original light of the original sun in spite of having Mamaivanso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuto Sanatana. Our atom is the divine atom. Our atom is the divinity. In miniature, it is microcosm that we are living still. We have not the totality of the supreme divinity. That is the new centralization. Title is given here, new centralization. New centralization of what? New centralization of the total divinity of the supreme sun from which our sun and so many suns as such have been projected. And science admits at present that all different stars are greater, better, grander, wider than our present sun. They are also shining. They are also illumining. They are also giving light. But it is the distance that makes them small. In reality, they are wider, greater than our present sun. It is one Brahman. 14 Brahmans are there. And controlling force of the 14 Brahman is Paratpar. It is Paratpar. And from there Savitri got the intimation where Satyavan's soul is there. Immortality in atom is there. Immortality in molecule is there. Immortality in miniature is there. And Savitri's soul, willful immortality is also there. But she could not bring soul of Satyavan back. That was relativity. One is willful reality, another is relativity. Willful reality cannot control relativity there on the earth. Because new velocity is to be generated, new velocity is to be imposed, new velocity is to be connected with the reality and relativity of the supreme light here on the earth. Soul is soul. Soul of Savitri is also soul, and soul of Satyavan is also soul. But soul of Savitri cannot impose her will on the soul of Satyavan. The soul of Satyavan is stability, sthiti, and soul of Savitri is gati. Soul of Savitri is maximum velocity, and soul of Satyavan is maximum velocity. Still, there is no velocity. Is steady there. She is steady there. She could not take him back to the old body. So Paratpar again mandatorily asks Savitri to ascend. That is what mother did after 1950 up to 1973. Sri Aurobindo completed the yoga of ascent through his mind, higher mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, overmind, and created supermind also individually in his body. And that power, light, reality, whatever it is, truth, whatever it is, was transmitted to mother. That is the mind of light. Mind of which light? Mind of the light of this sun? The mind of the light of the Supreme. If it is mentalized, then the absolute reality can be perfect relativity, total relativity. That is in the form of mind of light. Mind means what? Mind means accessible Supreme to our limitations. Supreme made accessible to our limited, imperfect instrument. An entire world is imperfect instrument, is still evolving. Is still evolving. That imperfect world is still evolving, is in miniature our body. So the destiny of the world is related with the destiny of our individual body. So for the first time, body is not to be rejected, body is not to be discarded, body is not to be ignored. The truth lives in body, light lives in body, reality lives in body, divinity lives in body. Everything that is there at the supreme level, at absolute level, is existing in our body. That has to be explored, and mother explored it. About 4 billion years ago, Satprem writes, the first living particle just emerging from inanimate matter did not yet have a memory except the one connecting it with the first hydrogen cloud in its atomic structure. These are all scientific words of the time of creation, assessed by the science. It vibrated, throbbed, stretched itself to absorb more matter in order to grow. As the nucleus seeks to absorb its electrons, as galaxies seeks to draw in other galaxies, and as the sun seeks to attract its planets. As the sun, after its birth, sun from which we kindle all our suns. So from original suns, our sun was projected. Similarly, all other different suns at present in the form of stars, they also all were projected. That is what seeks to absorb its electrons, as galaxies seek to draw in other galaxies, and as the sun seeks to attract its planets, already that cell was seeking its universal totality. It is the universal totality that is there, existing in absolute reality, existing in that original sun from which our suns were born, from which our suns were projected. So that is the original root of existence. That is the original source of existence. It is the real Gangotri of divinity that has become not only one Brahman, it has become 14 Brahmans as per our Vedic verdict. Nothing could be without being everything. In other words, whether one could be both the part and the whole. One could be both the part and the whole. Part divinity, that is our world. Whole divinity, that is absolute. It is the whole that generated the part. Ekoham bahushyam. Mamai vaunso jiva loke jiva bhuto sanatana. Mamai vaunso. This is ounce. Ounce is atom. Ounce is molecule. Ounce is part. Ounce is microscopic part. But it has all potentialities hidden. It is purnat purnamidam purnameva visishyate. So if that was purna, that was absolute, why its part here getting all the cells of the body as sun keeps all different planets moving, but connected with that supreme light. Why all planets, while all bodies on the planet, while all sparks of the light, sparks of the supreme, sparks of the divine, connected in such a way that it is a new pattern. If that new pattern can be drawn, if that new pattern can be made, if that new pattern can be brought into existence, supramental was descended down on the earth. It can do it. We cannot do it. Part cannot bring whole. It is the whole can connect part also in new pattern. So all parts can be given new pattern, new design. As I told you yesterday, kaleidoscope, if right jerk is given to kaleidoscope can present the design. There are inside the kaleidoscope, there are mere pieces of glass. To us, pieces of glass are not pieces of glass, a small heap of pieces of glass, but it is a design. It is a design. So if jerk is given to it, it creates new design. If jerk is given to it, it can give the new world. And that jerk is the jerk of death. It is the death that takes us to immortality. It is the death that takes us to perfection. Thousands and crores and billions of years will be spent till we reach the state of life divine. We'll live the state of life divine. Srunavantu amrutasya putraha. We are immortal, but immortality was never realized. Isolatedly, individually, there are so many examples, and Western world also can witness the example of resurrection of Lord Jesus Christ. We have also certain examples of resurrection, and resurrection means creating new body out of dissolution. Original body might be dissolved, but the same subtle body can be reappeared. So it is a question of visibility. The body original that was dissolved, that was buried, that was cremated, can also reappear individually. It was not made up till now the universal nature. Up till now was not made universal reality. In order to bring down and enhance the centralized reality, the centralized truth exceptionally on this world of mortality, why can it not be universalized, centralized? Centralized truth has to be what we call widened, and widened to its highest perfect total magnitude. In other words, whether one could be both the part and the whole together. Part can be whole and whole can be part here. Mortal can be immortal here and immortal can be mortal here. Lord Krishna appears before Mirabai, appears before Narsi Mehta and disappears. Disappearance of Lord Krishna is willful death of the Krishna who was witnessed by Mirabai and Narsi Mehta. Every individual cannot have this potentiality. Can every individual not realize this state of consciousness? Though it is consciousness. Consciousness of Arjuna is the consciousness of Lord Krishna. But the nature of Lord Krishna is not the nature of Arjuna. Because Arjuna cannot be Virat, though it is consciousness. Krishna can be Virat, though it is consciousness. So what is the difference? Difference is the difference of mortality and immortality. If Krishna can be mortal, Shyam Sundar lived here on the earth for 125 years along with Krishna, Arjun. So can Arjun not get the status of Lord Krishna? Can Arjun not get the status of Narayan? Krishna could not do it. That new Krishna, Kalki Narayan, had to do it. That was left out. So whole can be part and part can be whole. Who am I? Aham Brahmasmi, that is what Vedanta says, Ramana Maharshi proclaimed. Mekhan Dada in Kutch did make this experience available to his all 11 disciples. But individually it could be done. That was known in our country as Kaya Kalpa. Kaya means body and Kalp means assessment and assignment of immortality. Why can it not be universal? It will be after billions and billions and billions of years. Supramental was descended down on the ground to expedite the procedure, expedite the evolution, to accelerate the speed of evolution, provided the acceleration takes place at the level of our soul. Then it can be brought at the level of our body. If it is brought at the level of our body, if it is brought at our cellular level, if it is brought at the level of our cells, which is hidden there, it has to be brought out, and a new pattern is to be so generated, new circuit is to be so generated within the body. There lies the hidden immortality, and it is to be brought out with the gravitational pull and with the magnetic touch, with the new magnetic field, electromagnetic new field is to be created by our soul, the center of our light, center of our immortality, center of our divinity in the circumference of our body is possible. All can be done if God touch is there. Why not immortality? If everything can be possible, if the divine touch, and divine touch means touch of the original sun, touch of the original light, touch of the Varam Rupam Jyoti, and that is why Sri Aurobindo added in new Nutana Gayatri Mantra Varam Rupam Jyoti. It is Varam that is more important. It is the whole that is more important. It is the total that is more important. And that is to be put into practice, means that is to be put into velocity, that is to be put into change, that is to be put into matter, that is to be put into new pattern, new composition, new constitution, new consolidation. But that human habit-bound formation here referred to as the physical mind was so intimately tied to the amalgam of the body, that physical mind, our physical mind is also a spirit, our physical mind is also a consciousness, but it is matter-bound consciousness. It can control, it appears that it can control our body, it can control our organs, it can control our sensation, it can control our systems. But really speaking, our entire body is controlled by the mind, and mind becomes the supreme light in our body, and psychic is hidden. It is not the supreme light that governs our body. It is the highest peak of our Prakriti governs our body. That order has to be changed. That new matter, that new pattern is to be projected. Habit-bound formation. What is our body? It is habit-bound projection. It's not psychic-bound projection. It is not psychicized projection. It is not psychicized figure. It is not psychicized embodiment. Our body has to be made psychicized embodiment. Then we are made to connect automatically with the Supreme, from which our sons, including our present son, were projected. So intimately tied to Amaha, said mother, that whenever I tried to get rid of it, I would simply faint. Whenever I tried to get rid of it, whenever I tried to get freedom from my mind, working at my physical levels, I faint. Because no option is yet established, so I faint. It is the disconnection. It is the gap. Though I faint. That is what mother said. I tried to get rid of it. I would simply faint. One is dispersed into the cosmos, as if I am dispersed in the cosmos. All my cells are so scattered that I disappear. Cosmos. Since undoing the habit seemed to undo the person, a new principle of coagulation or centralization. Coagulation means consolidation. Principle of consolidation. New principle, not old. New principle of consolidation. New atoms are to be consolidated. New cells are to be consolidated. New cells who know that they are immortals are to be consolidated in the body, keeping our central light, central spirit, central consciousness into center. A new principle of coagulation or centralization had to be found, which would no longer be based on the mechanical repetition of human habit. It should be made free from the repetition of human habit imposed on it by our mind. Our mind can move in one and one circuit, and in one and one circuit it is moved. Circling track of mind is to be changed into a centralized location of psychic light into it, psychic varam rupam jyoti into it, psychic divinity into it. And psychic divinity is still there in our atom, has to be explored and has to be made free from its artificial mechanical shell which we are living at present. That is the solution, which could no longer be based on the mechanical repetition of human habit. That mortal cocoon, left out by mother just at the end of in the month of November, that is around 16 November, cocoon was left out, and caterpillar appears to be a butterfly. It is not the birth of butterfly. It is not the biological process of the caterpillar. It is the reappearance of light of the butterfly in new pattern. It is the caterpillar's transformation into butterfly, giving up the cocoon. Can we not experiment this mobility? Can we not experiment this velocity? Can we not execute this new velocity, provided we can reconsolidate our all cells into a new pattern? That is the new body. In the last chapter, it is presented and by the mother that this is how I could make my body a new body. You will have to wait. That mortal cocoon of all species, the web, mother had clearly seen the problem. Mother has clearly seen the problem, and mother says, death is the decentralization of the consciousness. Death is a decentralization of the consciousness. It has to be re-centralized. It has to be reconsolidated. It has to be reprojected. It has to be reappeared. If I can do it, then immortality lies in my body itself. In the cells of the body, the cells constituting the body are held in a certain form by a centralization. It is the certain form in which cells are so arranged that it appears to be figure. But if it can be changed, all immortal cells, and immortal cells mean self-awakened cells of their inner hidden immortality. The cells constituting the body are held in a certain form by a centralization of the consciousness within them. As long as that power of concentration prevails, the body cannot die. As long as that concentration of the power of consciousness, supreme consciousness in the cell is there, body cannot die. Death is the body's death. Death is not the death of consciousness within it. It is only when the power of concentration ceases that the cells are dispersed. The power of concentration ceases. Earth is moving around the sun. With what velocity, with what power, with what capacity, with what motivation, with what push that earth is moving around the sun? It is the magnetic attraction of the sun that gives velocity to the earth. So it is the magnetic attraction of the sun of the body that is our psychic. If it can keep its velocity intact, and if it can give its movement, if it can generate its own movement, and if body's cells are permanently connected with our psychic, then body can be immortal. Then body can be immortal. Cells are dispersed, then the body dies. If cells are dispersed, if they are moving irregularly, they die. Similar to the comets. Similar to the comets in the world, in the cosmos. What is comets? They are distracted cells of the cosmos. They are distracted cells of the cosmos. They are burnt out with their own light, with their own fire. Because it is distorted fire. It is distorted light. It is decentralized light that can be the fire in which they are all burnt out in the cosmos. The very first step towards immortality is therefore to replace that mechanical concentration by the voluntary one. If this mechanical concentration is changed into willful concentration of psychic, body can start experiencing immortality. जय माता जी।